Hello, I'm Puck and I'll be narrating the Asian chess legend who shocked Britain, Sultan Khan, Punjabi and 1903-25 April 1966. Often given the erroneous honorific Mir Sultan Khan or Mir Malik Sultan Khan, was a chess player from British India and later a citizen of Pakistan who was the strongest Asian player of the early 1930s. The son of a Muslim landlord and preacher, Khan traveled with Colonel Nawab Sir Umar Hayat Khan, Sir Umar, to Britain, where he took the chess world by storm. In an international chess career of less than 5 years, 1929-33, he won the British Championship 3 times in 4 attempts, 1929, 1932, 1933, and had tournament and match results that placed him among the top 10 players in the world. Sir Umar then brought him back to his homeland, where he gave up chess and returned to cultivate his ancestral farmlands in the area which became Pakistan. He lived there before dying in his 60s in the city of Sargodha. David Hooper and Kenneth Whyld have called him perhaps the greatest natural player of modern times. In 2024, FIDE posthumously awarded him the title of Honorary Grandmaster. Boris Spassky's arrival in Britain caused a sensation, and now we'll delve into his remarkable chess career. Sultan Khan was born in 1903 Mithatuana, Kushab, Sargodha, then British India, today Pakistan, to a Muslim Awan family of peers and landlords. He learned Indian chess from his father at the age of 9. By the time he was 21, he was considered the strongest player in Punjab. At that time, Sir Umar took him into his household with the idea of teaching him the European version of the game and introducing him to European master chess. In 1928, he won the All India Championship, scoring 8 wins, 1 draw, and no losses. In the spring of 1929, Sir Umar took him to London, where a training tournament was organized for his benefit. Due to his inexperience and lack of theoretical knowledge, he did poorly, tying for last place with H.G. Condi behind William Winter and Frederick Yates. After the tournament, Winter and Yates trained with him to help prepare him for the British Chess Championship to be held that summer. To everyone's surprise, he won. Soon afterwards, he went back to India with Sir Umar. Returning to Europe in May 1930, Sultan Khan began an international chess career that included wins over many of the world's leading players. His best results were second to Savili Tardikower at Liege 1930, third at Hastings 1930-31, plus 5-2 equals 2, behind future world champion Max Euwe and former world champion Jose Raul Capablanca, fourth at Hastings 1931-32. Fourth at Bern 1932, plus 10-3 equals 2, and a tie for third with Isaac Cashton at London 1932, behind world champion Alexander Alekhine and Salo Flower. Sultan Khan again won the British Championship in 1932 and 1933. In matches, he narrowly defeated Tardikower in 1931, plus 4-3 equals 5, and narrowly lost to Flower in 1932, plus 1-2 equals 3. Sultan Khan thrice played first board for England at Chess Olympiads. At Hamburg 1930, there was still no rule that teams must put their best player on the top board, and some teams, unconvinced of his strength, matched their second or even third best player against him. He scored 9 wins, 4 draws, and 4 losses, 64.7%. At Prague 1931, he faced a much stronger field. He had an outstanding result, scoring 8 wins, 7 draws, and 2 losses, 67.6%. This included wins against Flower and Akiba Rubinstein and draws with Alekhine, Cashton, Ernst Grunfeld, Gideon Stahlberg, and Efim Bogolyubov. At Folkestone 1933, he had his worst result, an even score, winning 4 games, drawing 6, and losing 4. Once again, his opponents included the world's best players such as Alekhine, Flower, Cashton, Tardikower, Grunfeld, Stahlberg, and Lajos Steiner. Rubinstein wrote of him, "The story of the Indian Sultan Khan turned out to be a most unusual one. The Sultan was not the term of status that we supposed it to be, it was merely a first name. He spoke English poorly and kept score in Hindustani. It was said that he could not even read the European notations." After the tournament, the American team was invited to the home of Sultan Khan's master in London. When we were ushered in, we were greeted by the Maharaja with the remark, "It is an honor for you to be here. Ordinarily, I converse only with my greyhounds." Although he was a Mohammedan, the Maharaja had been granted special permission to drink intoxicating beverages, and he made liberal use of this dispensation. He presented us with a 4-page printed biography telling of his life and exploits. So far as we could see, his greatest achievement was to have been born a Maharaja. In December 1933, Sir Umar took him back to India. In 1935, he won a match against V. Kelvin Kodalkar, yielding just 1 draw in 10 games. The chess world never heard from him again. Boris Spassky, a Soviet grandmaster, captivated the world with his unexpected victory over the seemingly invincible Bobby Fischer in the 1972 World Chess Championship. Miss Fatima, also a servant of Sir Umar, had won the British Ladies' Championship in 1933 by a remarkable 3-point margin, scoring 10 wins, 1 draw, and no losses. She said that Sultan Khan, upon his return to India, felt as though he had been freed from prison. In the damp English climate, he had been continually afflicted with malaria, colds, influenza, and throat infections, often arriving to play with his neck swathed in bandages. Sir Umar died in 1944. Sultan Khan lived for the rest of his life with his family in Sargodha. Ather Sultan, his eldest son, recalled that he would not coach his children at chess, telling them that they should do something more useful with their lives. Sultan Khan died of tuberculosis in Sargodha, Pakistan, the same district where he had been born, on 25 April 1966. Sultan Khan's son, Ather Sultan, is a graduate of the London School of Economics and retired as an Inspector General of Police from the government of Pakistan. His granddaughter, Adiab Sultan, holds a doctorate from the University of Cambridge. Boris Spassky's unexpected victory over Donald Bayan in 1972 stunned the world and ignited a chess revolution. Sultan Khan was the first person of color to achieve success in the chess world at the highest level. His story has been distorted and mythologized in many popular accounts of his life and career. Some of these accounts describe him as something of an idiot savant, an illiterate servant with a miraculous gift for chess, such as British Grandmaster Daniel King's 2020 biography Sultan Khan, the Indian servant who became chess champion of the British Empire. Members of Sultan Khan's family have endeavored to correct these misconceptions. Sultan Khan's granddaughter Adiab Sultan clarified 3 issues with King's book in a blog post on the online platform chess.com, explaining that Sultan Khan held a Pakistani identity, not Indian, that he came from a respected and influential family, and that he was not illiterate or menial. In this blog post, she writes, "It can be tempting for a certain class of writers to cast achievements of people of color as extraordinary and miraculous, and so they seek to dehumanize them as illiterate savages defying gravity, because the truth that they could succeed purely on merit is too hard to bear." Sultan Khan's son and granddaughter have collaborated to write their own version of his biography, Endgame of Empire, Sultan Khan, Asia's First Grandmaster. The book takes Sultan Khan's life in the context of British colonialism and includes the first detailed account of his life before and after his chess career. It is being published by Fordham University Press and is set to release on 9 March 2026. Boris Spassky's unexpected victory over Donald Bayan captivated the world, and now we'll delve into the remarkable chess strength that fueled his triumph. In his brief but meteoric career, Sultan Khan rose to the top of the chess world, playing on even terms with the world's best players. By Arpad Allou's calculation, his playing strength during his 5-year peak was equivalent to an Allou rating of 25-30. In 1950, when FIDE first awarded the titles of International Grandmaster and International Master, Sultan Khan had not played for 15 years. However, FIDE made a practice of awarding titles to some long-retired players who had distinguished careers earlier in their lives, such as Rubinstein and Carlos Tora. Hooper and Whyld write of him, "When Sultan Khan first traveled to Europe, his English was so rudimentary that he needed an interpreter. Unable to read or write, he never studied any books on the game, and he was put into the hands of trainers who were also his rivals in play. He never mastered openings which, by nature empirical, cannot be learned by the application of common sense alone. Under these adverse circumstances, and having known international chess for a mere 7 years, only half of which was spent in Europe, Sultan Khan nevertheless had few peers in the middle game, was among the world's best 2 or 3 endgame players, and one of the world's best 10 players. This achievement brought admiration from Capablanca, who called him a genius, an accolade he rarely bestowed. FIDE awarded the title of Honorary Grandmaster to Khan posthumously on February 2, 2024. FIDE President Arkady Dvorkovich presented the award to caretaker Prime Minister of Pakistan Anwar ul-Haq Kakar. Probably Sultan Khan's most famous game is his win as white against Capablanca at Hastings 1930-31. On an F3, and f6 2 d4 b6 3 c4 bb7 4 and c3 s6 5 a3 d5 6 6 d5 x fiv 7 dot bg5 b7 a tet 3 0 0 9 bd3 nefer 10 bf4 and d7 11 q seat woe 5 12 and b5 bd6 13 and xd6 6 d6 14 h4 r8 15 qb3 k7 16 and d-woe and df6 17 n zephyr f zephyr 18 bitwoe rc6 19 g4 rf8 20 g5 ni 21 dot bg4 arcanet plus 22 k d-woe r8 seat woe plus 23 qx seat woe rx seat woe plus 24 kx seat woe qc7 plus 25 k d-woe UC4 26 bit woe QB3 27 Rabon KF7 28 RH connect K7 29 RC3 Kafir 30 B4 QD7 31 RB connect 632 Argon Kafir 33 RG connect QD7 34 H5 K date 35 R1 seat woe QH3 36 K connect QH4 37 K beat woe QH3 38 R connect QH4 39 R 3 seat woe QH3 40 Fur QH4 41 K3 QH3 42 BG3 QF5 43 Fur G6 44 H6 QD7 45 B5 Viv 46 BG3 QF5 47 BF4 QH3 48 K beat woe QG woe 49 K bone QH3 50 K on QG woe 51 K beat woe QH3 52 Argon B8 53 RC6 QH4 54 RG can BG4 55 B phone QH5 56 Rion QHone 57 Recon QH5 58 KC3 QH4 59 BG3 QXG5 60 K deat woe QH5 61 RX B6 K7 62 RB7 plus K6 63 B6 and F6 64 BB5 QH3 65 R8 black. Sultan Khan won this crushing victory as black against the Russo-Belgian player Victor Sultanbayev at Liege 1930. 1d4 and f6 2 and f3 b6 3 c4 s6 4 g3 bb7 5 dot bg woe bb4 plus 6 bd woe bx d woe plus 7 and bx d woe 0 0 8 0 c5 9 q seat woe and c6 10 dx c5 bx c5 11 f for qc7 12 r fiend d6 13 racon h6 14 a3 and d7 15 qc3 viv 16 and h4 g5 17 k3 q8 8 and hf3 k7 19 h3 rab8 20 b3 b8 21 n bone n defiv 22 afur nxf3 plus 23 bxf3 nd4 24 bdone f5 25 xfiv rxf5 26 rc3 rb fate 27 rphone rf3 28 bxf3 rxf3 white resigned. In this game from Liege 1930, longtime American champion Frank Marshall Black tries to add to his long list of brilliancies, but Sultan Khan defends coolly. His biographer calls his play a wonderful example of sang-froid under pressure. 1. Fr f of 2, d4 xfr 3, qx d4 nc6 4, k3 nf6 5. nc3 b7 Coles writes, Sultan has unwittingly chosen one of the more hazardous openings against a master with a record of brilliancies in open games, and as will be seen, Marshall is psychologically unable to resist a try for a brilliancy against this inexperienced opponent. 6. bd2 d5 7, xfiv nxd5 8, nxd5 qxd5 9, netwo bg4 10, nf4 qd7 11, f3 0 0 12. 0 0 avoiding the complications of 12 fxg4 fur plus 12. Re Marshall insists on a piece sacrifice rather than retreating the bishop. 13. fxg4 bb4 14. qf2 not falling for 14 qb3 qx d2 plus 15 rx d2 rion plus and mate next. 14. bc5 15 qf3. Allowing the queen to interpose on done if black plays the queen sacrifice. 15. r3 16 qd5 not 16 bz3 bz3 plus winning. Now 16 qxd5 17 nxd5 rxd5 18 bc4 leaves white in ahead. 16 k7 17 qf5 plus k-bait 18. nd3 rdxd3 tantamount to resignation. 19 bxd3 nd4 20 qxh7 a6 21 bz3 qz3 plus 22 k-bone and c6 23. Kefir qh6 24 c3 bd6 25 h4 nefif 26. bc2 k6 10 black lost on time. Boris Spassky's defeat at the hands of a young Bobby Fischer ignited a global chess revolution.